What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Force here with some more StarCraft 2 commentary. Today's game is going to be between EG ThorZaiN and FG MeSsan. We are on the map Cloud Kingdom, and with that you should notice immediately this is actually going to be a game from Wings of Liberty and not the Heart of the Swarm beta. Just taking a brief break from commentating beta games to bring you some Wings of Liberty action for two reasons. Number one, I was sent this game and told it was absolutely phenomenal, so I wanted to get it out there to you guys. But also, we're just at an interesting time in the Heart of the Swarm beta. There was recently a major patch that brought forth some significant changes to units, adding units such as the carrier, removing units such as the Warhound, and then some major balancing as well. Now, for that reason, professional players are still kind of getting used to the changes, but the other thing that I think it's important to keep in mind about the beta when it comes to pro players is that many of the professionals aren't putting that much time and energy into it because there are still tournaments taking place for Wings of Liberty. And obviously, when you're a pro player and you make money, you make your living off of playing the game, you want to focus on what's currently relevant in the tournament scene. And we expect Heart of the Swarm beta tournaments to start taking place. In fact, I think a couple have already happened, but until that's taking place across the board, I think most of the pro players are going to be devoting most of their time and energy to Wings of Liberty. So there's still lots of really great games going on, and I want to bring some of those to you. Now, don't expect me to just stop Heart of the Swarm commentary. I'm definitely going to be doing that. In fact, I've got quite a few replays now in the back catalog there for me to access, so that's something I'll definitely be doing. But every now and then, you're going to expect a couple of Wings of Liberty commentaries. Let's stop talking about it, though, and let's focus here on the game. Starting off with the fact that ThorZaiN is going command center first. We're going to see a very quick expansion here from our blue Terran player ThorZaiN, and his opponent over here in the upper right-hand spawn position, FG MeSsan, has decided to go spawning pool first, now just placing down his hatchery and moving out as well with a drone scout. Now, if you haven't heard of MeSsan, of course, ThorZaiN is a very well-known Terran player. MeSsan's a pretty strong Zerg player as well. In fact, he performed quite well during the MLG Summer Championship 2012. He managed to get pretty far during that event. So if you haven't heard of MeSsan before, chances are you're going to start hearing about him in the future, whether it be in Wings of Liberty or when Heart of the Swarm eventually comes out. Either way, is likely a Zerg player that you'll be seeing more of. All right, so again, we do have that quick expansion here from ThorZaiN. MeSsan a little bit behind in terms of when his expansion did come through. We also saw that drone grab the Xel'Naga tower. He has headed back now and is commencing mining inside of the main. A little bit of a discussion going on between these two guys as well. Pretty humorous. Like to see players chatting it up, especially in the early part of the game where it's not so, it's not so intensive, it's not so APM intensive, and they've got time to type out a couple of sentences and just catch up with each other. Pretty cool. All right, we got MeSsan moving out now with a few Zerglings. Going to try to harass ThorZaiN a little bit for going for his expansion first. You can see his first Marine is not yet out. Barracks just about finished that, and with these Zerglings, he will be able to stop the production there of that bunker. And what is he going to be doing with this? Moving one Zergling up into the main. We got one Marine plus a few SCVs. They're going to try to defend here. Looks like he will force a cancel of this bunker, though. Not going to be able to get it in time, so cancels that. Gets 75 resources back. Takes a little bit of an economic loss, and we'll start taking some damage to this orbital. I don't expect MeSsan to destroy this by any means, but damaging it is pretty good as well, because if ThorZaiN repairs, he does, of course, lose resources for that, and if he doesn't repair, well, that makes it weaker for potential future engagements and pushes from MeSsan. Now with a couple Marines and SCVs, he does have enough to force these Zerglings back, but we're going to see MeSsan continuously dance back and forth. Back at home, he's droning up right now, and that's about it. Doesn't have any more Zerglings besides these few that he has over here, these 6 that he has right out front. And actually, I don't think he's lost a single thing. No, he has not. Still has not lost a Zergling, so MeSsan doing a great job here with these early layings, doing a bit of harass. We saw a total of 75 resources lost, so we got one SCV killed, plus the 25 resources lost from that forced cancel of the bunker. So pretty good early harass. He also managed to delay the mining at this natural expansion, which of course you love to see as well. Now the Zerglings are heading back. We've got an SCV scout moving out. He will be scouting out the third, and as you can see, MeSsan has taken that third expansion position. So ThorZaiN is now aware of that. We'll see if he decides to push out at any time in the future. As of now, though, he is just focusing on defending himself. We got a couple supply depots plus a second bunker being built just in case we saw a strong push from MeSsan. MeSsan does appear, though, to be focusing on his economy, continuing to just drone up here, still sitting with those 6 Zerglings that he began with. Actually, I do wonder where those are right now. They're just chilling out over here. Looks like they have regenerated their health. And again, still no losses for MeSsan. Sitting pretty queen heavy with 4 right now. Gonna start spreading that creep. Love to see that. We also got 1 evolution chamber building. Second one is coming through. Double extractors over here at the natural, and the third almost finished as well. Metabolic boost now just starting. You can see how delayed that was as MeSsan really focused on droning very hard early on and starting to get enough drones so that he can saturate this hatchery once that does pop. Pretty good in terms of a saturation right now at his main and natural. A little bit oversaturated over here. You can see those drones bouncing back and forth just when there's a few too many. But again, he can always transfer some of those over to the natural and then transfer the natural over to the third, and then he'll be all set. But yeah, right now just focusing on his upgrades. Also a layer coming through back over here for ThorZaiN. We're going to be seeing some mech play from him. Starting off with some Hellions as well as Siege Tanks Tech Lab coming down over there. We also have another orbital built here in the main, helping him saturate that natural expansion a little bit quicker. And ThorZaiN right now will just be working off of these 2 bases, starting to build up his mech army, and then eventually landing this orbital right on over here is what we can expect from him. We do have both the Blue Flame and Siege Tech research coming through, so we do expect him to just be sticking with this mech play here. Also should expect to see some armories soon, and there's one actually coming out with the vehicle weapons level 1 upgrade. And now the orbital moving down into that position. Now the Overlord of MeSsan has scouted that out, so he might be able to push out to try to harass that a little bit. We got 1 spine crawler to deal with potential Hellion harass over there at the third. Nothing at the main and the natural though. With the layer complete, we're going to start seeing some upgrades. We got centrifugal hooks coming out for the Banelings, as well as that infestation pit coming out. 1/1 upgrades also coming through. So MeSsan, again, just really focusing on that macro, and he has taken a 4th base right over here, continuing to extend himself, and we'll see more creep spread from him likely as well. Doing a great job this game at creep spreading. Gotta love it. He's got some great vision right now. Let's take a look at MeSsan vision. Well, he can see so much at the moment. He's got an Overlord tucked away over here as well, spotting this expansion that is up and running. Got 1 missile turret coming down. ThorZaiN potentially preparing to deal with besides burrowed units, like burrowed infestors trying to harass, of course, dealing with the potential of Mutalisk. Blue Flame Hellions now moving towards the third. They're going to walk right by that 4th base. Let's see what he can do. We got a couple Queens, Speedlings, and Banelings to defend. Speedlings going to try to get us around, allow those Banelings to catch up, and the Queens really unable to do so. He keeps chase, manages to take out 2, loses a few Zerglings in the process. Still doing pretty good here, though. Hellions moving back, trying to hit that resource line. Again, these Zerglings getting us around. Those Hellions are in trouble, and they're gone. Hellions get taken out. Let's take an end look at that exchange between the 2. ThorZaiN coming out quite behind, 725 to 375 resources lost. ThorZaiN now planning to protect this expansion position. Nice tank positioning here, gotta love it. Wouldn't mind seeing one around here too, so they could splash things like this coming up. Now the Zerglings are going to get hit, but at the same time, SCVs do take splash damage. And these tanks aren't within range to stop those Zerglings from hitting it, but the Hellions come down to protect that, and he is all set. All set is ThorZaiN. SCV Scout moving up into the natural. Guess he's looking for tech or something. And he's actually going to make it up into the main. That's quite hilarious. And spots the Spire. Oh, you're so close to spawn. You idiot. He was so, I'm not calling ThorZaiN an idiot, I'm talking to the SCV. He was so close to spotting that Spire. Oh, that would have been great information to have. With the Hellions, he sees the infestors. Now he already spotted the infestation, but there's the scan, so finally able to see that Spire. So now he knows he will be dealing with Mutas. We might see another missile turret or 2, although he's pretty well defended here with 1 in each, especially since that Spire's now finished. Obviously, MeSsan isn't anywhere near having a massive Mutas pushing towards his opponent. In fact, he won't be getting many Mutas at all. You can see how low his Vespene is. Pretty interesting. We have Ventral Sack upgrade coming through. So it looks like we will be seeing carrying Overlords for some potential drop harass from MeSsan. And ThorZaiN now moving out with his mech. Couple Thors, Siege Tanks, and Hellions. Another expansion again taken over here. Got some mass Roach production going on, 2/2 upgrades, as well as the Glob Reconstitution Roach Speed for MeSsan. Here comes what could potentially be a very dangerous push here for MeSsan. There's a good chance he's going to be losing this position, and he just says, screw it. Counterattack. And we got no tanks defending that main and natural. This could be painful. So the tank line here at the top shelling out on this expansion. This is a goner. Hellions moving in to assist as well. Here come the Roaches. Roaches still a little bit indecisive. Did we end up seeing a tank setup? We got one tank setup right there, and the Roaches and Infestors end up doing no damage in what looked to be a counterattack. MeSsan deciding to hold back with that. I wonder if he's going to push on this position. I think he's got the opportunity to potentially take that out. We got some Corruptors coming through and a Greater Spire. And here we go. Here comes the push. Infested Terrans get dropped, trying to draw some of that siege fire, allowing those Roaches to push right up on the tank line, plus the Thors. And ThorZaiN has just lost everything here. He gets flanked by MeSsan. Good on MeSsan there. Love that play. That was phenomenal.
Is under attack.
We got one Zergling harassing this expansion. Planetary coming through. We'll take care of that once it finishes. Also, we got those Hellions over there. Here come the Roaches, though. They're going to try to force a liftoff over here. And we got two tanks setting up, plus a few Thors and the Hellions. That's going to be enough to force those Roaches back. Let's take a look at the resources lost. They're about even, with MeSsan slightly behind right now. Transition into Brewlords taking place. Of course, the Hive is here. Greater Spire there, of course, as well. Another Hellion run by. Gonna be pushing towards. Is he gonna bypass this expansion and go for the third? Actually, would not be a bad idea. Another expansion getting placed down over here. This one has yet to be spotted by ThorZaiN. Yeah, he does not know about this expansion at the moment. So hopefully he sends a scout up there. Nice reaction there. Drones pulling off the line and splitting up. Those Hellions are gonna continue to make chase, but here come the Roaches. And Hellions forced back. A few more shots from the spine. Crawler. Hit it. Oh, so close. Hellion might be able to scout out this position, though. Again, ThorZaiN still doesn't know about that. So if the Hellion pushes up there to the upper left, is he going to do it? Yes, he is. Beautiful. Good job. Good job, ThorZaiN. Scout that expansion. There it is. So we'll see what he decides to move towards that. We got some Roaches preemptively moving down, just in case. Again, I think he knows he was just scouted out there by that Hellion. So yeah, he does, because he had some Overlords chilling out over here. So now he knows that ThorZaiN knows about his expansion. So he's got some Roaches prepared to potentially deal with that if necessary. No other Hellion run-bys going on right now. Got a few Hellions grabbing the tower. That's pretty much it. Broodlords. Got a few defending over here at this expansion. They're going to be pulling back. Tanks and Hellions moving back. Nice defensive posture here for ThorZaiN. Look at that tank line, Thors, and two more command centers. Now those will probably be orbitals for the extra energy for mules and scans, but they provide a little bit of a buffer for that planetary and these tanks. So it's good positioning. You know, place those extra orbitals there. Gives them a dual purpose. They're not just extra energy or more SCV production. They're also a little bit of a wall off for that expansion. Also love to see these sensor towers, something that I don't really think gets used enough. Broodlords sitting right outside the natural expansion now. The Hellions will be scouting that out, then Hellions will be dying. Actually take some damage from their own siege tank, and the siege tank gets hit for a little bit as well. Here comes another Hellion run by, moving into the expansion. Roaches trying to help defend, but he is losing quite a few workers in the process. Look at the number of worker kills. That's the wrong button. There we go. 16 worker kills so far this game for ThorZaiN. Doing a decent job of harassing that economy. Really haven't seen much at all. 6 worker kills for MeSsan. Not a ton. And Raven play now coming out for ThorZaiN to help complement this mech army. Point defense drones, seeker missiles. Got a Corvid reactor also coming out. Love it. Let's take a look back over here, show you these upgrades. So there's the Seeker missile upgrade, and then of course the reactor, increasing the starting energy of the Ravens by 25. Another expansion over here for MeSsan. Any more Hellion run-bys taking place? No, sir. That is not the case. Take a look at upgrades. He has 01 for his air units. Coming out with Flying Carpus 2. Also Ground Carpus 3. And he's got none of the ranged upgrades, unfortunately, for those Roaches. Vikings moving forward to deal with these Broodlords. Broodlords now pushing on this position. Tank splash damage. Might be doing more harm than good here. Now we get the Ravens moving forward at the same time. Mech Army moving over here for ThorZaiN. So MeSsan hitting up this expansion. He has got this, no problemo. But now he's also dealing with this very strong push. It's pretty much going to be impossible for his Brood Lords to get up on that position. Oh, this thing is still not gone. Are you serious? Mass repair on the planetary. It might save it. What is going on? How is this thing still alive? Big push coming over here. MeSsan is going to lose that expansion. Mass repair continues to save the day. This is absolutely absurd. I don't believe it. I do not believe that this thing is still alive. That is ridiculous. Mech Army takes out this expansion. Still continues to repair it. However, his SCVs are dwindling in numbers and finally able to take that out. That lived far too long. Now let's see what he can do with the Vikings and Ravens. Is he going to take out these Brood Lords? There, the point defense Jones, absorbing that Corruptor damage. And those Brood Lords are toast. There's a fungal growth though, like to see that. But yeah, these Brood Lords are a goner. ThorZaiN once again took out this expansion, continuing to push forward to attempt to take out this one. The both players right now have traded expansions. Losing all those Brood Lords was definitely very painful. Take a look at the resources lost. MeSsan quite a bit behind right now, 18,000 as opposed to 1,100 resources lost. He does still have these expansions up and running though. He is also coming out with a transition into Ultralisk. Let's take a look at his current composition. He's got 5 Infestors, a few Zerglings, and those Ultras just about to pop. Also a Drano Gland's coming out, and the melee attack level 3. Zerglings just kind of sacrificing themselves, moving in, trying to force some splash damage from those tanks against his units. And here come the Ultras moving from multiple angles. We got a few Ultras also moving from over here. Scans will be scouting that Ultra moving from the top ground, and see you later, Mech Army. Bye-bye. Neural Parasite controls that Thor, allows him to take it out. We got a push now moving down over here for ThorZaiN. With his Mech Army fully upgraded into the weapons, these Thors will drop this hatchery quick. Before MeSsan could even get there to protect it, it is gone. That is very painful. Now he's got this base up and mining, this base up and mining, but that's kind of it because the main and the natural both very, very low on remaining resources to be gathered. Now these units are dead, but again, ThorZaiN was able to take out that expansion, so the question is it worth it? May very well have been. He's going to be losing his Thors and Hellions, but still, he took out that expansion, really hurting MeSsan's economy. Although MeSsan is still ahead in terms of minerals being gathered. He is behind right now in terms of gas. ThorZaiN get an expansion up here, also landing another expansion over here. We'll see a planetary out of that. And hopefully we do see, I was going to say, hopefully we see MeSsan retake this expansion over here and here. I see really no reason for him not to, other than wanting to save his minerals to continue to produce units. Because neither player is at supply cap right now. There's been so much back and forth so far this game. Not a lot of action taking place right now. Love MeSsan's vision though. He can see so much. It's really awesome. So I think one of the coolest things about Zerg, you know, spreading that creep, getting your overlords out there, you get so much vision of the map. It is just fantastic. Push now from MeSsan. We'll be trying to take out this planetary. We got some mass repair action, and the infestors need to be careful. Mass repair action not enough to deal with the damage of those ultras though. So much damage. It's gonna grab this one as well. Bunch of Zerglings moving forward to help reinforce, although we aren't really seeing ThorZaiN try to protect that expansion. It's already gone. We're going to see him push out with another counterattack. Remember last time how quickly these Thors took out that expansion. He's first going to focus on these spines. We got a few infested Terrans. MeSsan might be able to defend this. Zerglings coming forward. Yeah, he's all set. Here come the reinforcements. He does defend it. Another push coming out. Just Ravens and Vikings, but that's not that bad of a thing because he can drop down the turrets and do quite a bit of damage. Now that was a push that MeSsan saw, so he's going to be moving out to attempt to deal with that. Here come the turrets. Vikings landing down. That's painful. Turrets getting placed all over the place. He's running out of energy though, and here come the rest of the reinforcement, and MeSsan has defended. The rest of the Vikings and the Ravens will be hightailing it out of here. Trying to stay away from that Queen anti-air damage as well, but this is looking pretty good for MeSsan. Doing a great job here. He's got this expansion back up and running. Let's take a look at the income. MeSsan at a very strong advantage. Resources lost, they're about even, so MeSsan, that does mean that he's made his way back up because he was quite a bit behind. However, transition into some Banshees could prove problematic for MeSsan. He will be coming out with Corruptors to deal with that, but he's got pretty much no mobile anti-air right now. The only real anti-air he has at the moment are these queens. Of course, we do have infested Terrans plus fungal growth. That is potential. But we expect ThorZaiN to keep a decent spread to try to avoid as much damage as possible from those fungals. Try not to group up. Not enough, though, as he is forced back. We got cloak research now coming out as well for those banshees. That is the cloaking field. And he's going to try to keep up this banshee harass. Now, I think he's all done with Hellions. He's got 11 Hellions. What are they doing, though? They're just chilling out with the main force over here. Alright, Banshee's moving towards this expansion now. And let's see how MeSsan can defend. Here are some Corruptors and some fungal growth from the Infestors. That is a good defense. And with the cloak still not finished, this Banshee is dead. Bye-bye. Great defense there by MeSsan. Take another look at the resources lost. Again, they're about even when it comes to resources lost. ThorZaiN lifting off these two command centers, and he's going to be moving both of them over here. So one is a planetary, one... We'll see if he gets two planetaries, or if he just decides to go one. I think he'll probably get two planetaries over here. That's what we saw him do last time. I don't know, though, because MeSsan's in a very strong position right now. Taking a look at army size, he's got 100 army supplies as opposed to the 83. Now, this is a very strong mech force, and very strong tank line. We have a lot of infestors, and they can definitely wreak havoc. Burrowing, dropping infested Terrans on sieged up tanks, that can be very, very painful for a Terran player. Zergling burrowing will be delaying the placement of this expansion, forcing ThorZaiN to bring something over there and place a scan down or construct a turret. He will be just moving out with the one Hellion. And there's the scan. Look at that, ThorZaiN all over it. Alright, so now he can land this expansion, make those planetaries, and then kind of go from there. Forward scan, spotting some Broodlord action. Could be a problem because there aren't a ton of Vikings. Now, there are a few, but we also have a lot of Infestors here to fungal that. And here comes a big push right now. Ultra's moving down with some Speedlings. Broodlords in the back. Ooh, took a lot of damage. That is a deep tank line, plus that planetary. Here comes some Seeker missiles. Here are those bad boys. And the Vikings moving forward took care of all the Broodlords. But that's not the only threat. Ultra is now moving out, and yeah, he's gonna force a liftoff over here. ThorZaiN, realizing he's not gonna be able to get there in time, just decides to go out with a counterattack himself. Let's see what he's able to do. Pushing on this expansion, sieging up his tanks. Love the positioning. All those Ravens as well. All right, here we go. MeSsan moving forward. Here come the infested Terrans. Ultra's also moving in. We're going to see those Ravens push down. They're trying to get some Seeker missiles down over there. Ends up losing that all. Infested Terrans doing so much damage, and there is the GG. Well played from ThorZaiN. What an interesting game here between MeSsan and ThorZaiN. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this game here between MeSsan and ThorZaiN. MeSsan ends up taking it with some beautiful defense in this game. It was quite an interesting back and forth, and I definitely really enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys liked watching it as well. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe, keep watching, and keep owning.